Good afternoon and welcome to Loan Officer Impact. Kevin Broughton coming at you today, and I am very grateful. I have an incredibly cool guest on today, someone who I admire greatly, someone who I've gotten to know over the last year and think she's a special human being, as well as an incredibly good loan professional, but that's secondary to how great she is as a person. And so I'm going to announce my friend, Miss Rachel Lester from the great state of West Virginia. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you.
Thanks so much for taking your time out of your day today to join me. Here at Loan Officer Impact, our goal is to try to impact loan officers nationwide, regardless of where they work. And hopefully they have a more freedom-filled life, a more fun life, and be able to concentrate and work in areas that they love, that they're great at, and to make the money. So I'm excited to talk to you today. You know, we met going on, coming up on a year when we actually met, right?
Yes.
I remember our first conversation, and we weren't the right fit for you on that day, and that kind of later changed due to some stuff. But if we could, do you mind you have an awesome story, and I love it, but do you mind sharing just kind of how you got into this business? Because it's kind of a unique route versus that of many others.
Okay. I don't want to bore you with too much of the backstory, but I will start here probably. I started in economic development years ago, in which I really, really loved that. I loved helping people. I loved help creating opportunities for people to better their lives. And I was able to work with a fantastic mentor. And that mentor taught me so much, and so much that I carry today in life. And together, we worked together every day for 11 years and trying to help impact the lives of others. And that was a cool job, a very cool job. And that background helped me a whole lot in strategic thinking. You know, my mentor always said to me, there's never a no, there's always a yes, find the yes. And so I challenge myself every day. How do you find that yes? And so that's really fun for me. But I was recruited to relocate to where I am now in Charleston, West Virginia. And so I relocated, and then I knew no one other than recommendations on a dentist and a hairdresser and a family, doctor, things like that. And so someone planted a seed and said to me, you'd be really great in real estate. And I was like, okay. And then I had another person kind of mumble this, and another person. And it just so happened I had one of the best teachers, who was my sister-in-law, who is in North Carolina selling real estate, and she was the top of her game. And so she helped mentor me through the real estate market. And that was a lot of fun for many, many years. And I, being a single mom at that time, I'd lost my husband in 2006. And so relocating to another town, being a single mom, it does have its challenges, and it's a little scary, but I don't know, I have a confidence that whatever I want to do, I think I'll be able to achieve it with the right attitude. So I jumped into real estate, knew no one in my town other than those folks that I mentioned, got into that, did that for a few years, loved it, decided, hey, I'm just going to quit my job and start this real estate gig full time. And the month I was going to put my resignation in, I got a call that I had breast cancer. So I said, okay, let's give this thing a year, and we're still going to transition and do what we want to do here. And it was to go into real estate full time. And, went through that battle, and I was very successful to win that battle. Thank God.
Thank God.
Here I am today, 6 years later, and I'm cancer free. And so I went into the, I don't know, something changed. I guess maybe after that rough year, I decided maybe I needed to slow down a little bit or switch gears a little bit, but I still loved real estate so much. And I had the wild opportunity to be asked to go into mortgage lending. And I didn't know anything about mortgage lending, but I said, sure. So I quit my real estate career and my full-time job the same day. And to go to 100% commission based. Yeah. But I said, you know what? I set my goal and I knew what I had to do. And so that was in the end of January 2020. And at the end of January 2020, if you remember, in the next month, everything went a little crazy. And then,
remember well.
Yeah. So here I am, a brand new loan officer in this crazy market navigating. And everyone had went home, and it was a fun time though. But we did good, worked really hard. I remember putting in 15, 16-hour days, literally, because I knew nothing. I was new with everything I had to do. I had to give it 100%.
Right.
Sure I didn't screw something up for someone. And, here we are about coming up on 4 years later.
Yeah.
First year, amazing. Second year, third year, top producer. And so, the third year, I was number one in the state of West Virginia with the company I was at that time. And then in the top of the ranks with transactions throughout the country with that company. And here we are in Little West Virginia. So I've seen in my short career in mortgage lending how the tides have turned from one.
You've seen the best market in the history of time to arguably the toughest.
Yep. But, we built a team, and I probably have one of the best assistants around. And so she keeps everything straight, and she's just great. She has the same attitude I do to help, get to the goal. What do we need to do? Number one, we know we have to have the best customer service around. And I think that's what sets us a little bit apart from the rest, is that we do care about the person. We want to stay in contact with the person, help the person navigate through the process. So that's probably a long backstory, Kevin. So I apologize if I've hijacked.
Oh, no, there's 6 takeaways from the backstory, and I hope everyone is tuning in got a couple things. One of the first things you said is that you had to strategically think. How many loan officers don't spend enough time strategically thinking? Most. And so I love that, because every time I've ever spoken to you, it's always been strategic. We've had 1 out of 10 conversations have been, how's the weather? And 9 out of 10 about strategic thinking. I love it. I love how you think. Second thing you said was find the yes. If every single loan officer in this country spent every single hour of every single day that they're working finding the yes, we'd have a better industry. You know what I mean? And we can't rest, and we can't be lazy, and we can't just say no. We got to find the yes. I love find the yes. You talked about having a mentor. I have a mentor. I have multiple mentors. I have multiple coaches. I have multiple people that help me. And I believe mentorship matters. And I know you do too. And I know you have multiple people that assist you. And you're a lifelong learner. And that's pretty important stuff. And not everybody is. So, you talked about confidence and attitude and belief. And you have no arrogance to you, but you have supreme confidence. And that's important, and it's attractive. And I hope everyone picked up on that. On your personal side, you talked about how you had to battle. We all have our cross to bear. We've all been through some stuff, and you've been through a very, very difficult thing in your life, a huge one, and you battle, but you just keep battling. And we're in a tough market right now. We're in a market that's not producing the right results many people wanted to. Those that are battling are doing all right, but are you competing? Are you battling every day? Then you talked about educating and customer service. And that is what sets you apart. I know how you talk to borrowers. I know what you tell them. I know how truthful it is. I know how honest it is. I know how upfront it is. I know how communicative it is. I know how educational it is. And that does add to why you're doing well, where a lot of folks are not. So I already had like 8 takeaways in 10 minutes. So you might think that was a mundane answer to how you got in the business. I walked away with 8 benefits. So I think that's a good thing. You've mentioned building a team. Every single person that tunes into this podcast wants to build a team or has built a team. What makes yours special? Why? I know some of your teammates. I know the energy and the positivity they have and the mission that they're on. How do you do that? Can you speak just a little bit about building that team?
Yeah, I think it's definitely aligning yourself with the right people, the people that have the same common goals and interests and everything that you do. You have to be aligned perfectly with one another. Well, I shouldn't say perfectly. You have to align yourself. Katie and I, for example, are polar opposites.
Right, as people, right.
And it works, yes. But our values and our beliefs and the things perfectly align. Aaron, who we brought on.
Yeah.
is a great example of somebody who you can just pour into, and she wants to do and know and help. And she's always the first one to say, what do you need from me? What I need to do? And she looks for, opportunities to better serve people
every day.
And she's a brave gal to start in this market,
Yeah.
She just got her license a few months ago, and she's killing it.
She's killing it. And it's
left and right.
Unbelievable. But that's leadership too. And I think oftentimes, especially in challenging markets, leadership really shows, whether it be good leadership or poor leadership. And I think about how some of those calls we've had with Erin and you and I think of like her can-do spirit, and it's incredible to listen to her and then to watch her actions and everything. But that's you. So if you're on this call and you are building a team or have a team, be laser focused on the importance and the value of leadership and of core value alignment. And you spoke of it twice. And if you're not aligned in your core values, it's going to be very difficult for you to build a high performing team. Anyone can build a group or even a team, but to build a high performing team, you and I have had this conversation, it's got to be based on accountability, communication, and trust. And if you don't have all three of those things, you're not going to have a high performing team, in my opinion. Right. And you're the spitting image of what that embodiment is, because your team does trust each other. They do communicate like crazy, and they're held accountable, right? You're held accountable. The teammates are held accountable. Everyone's held accountable. So I love what you've built.
Thank you.
What are the things that now you're doing on a daily basis? And do you love them? Are you great at them? Do they make you money? Are you kind of working in that Carl White triad of awesomeness? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we do follow the Freedom Club. We tweak it to,
Yeah.
And Carl probably wouldn't want to hear that. So hopefully he doesn't listen to this. But, we do have a different market than some of the markets they're talking about. We talked about that before we came on here, and how West Virginia is very special in that for many, many years, when we see the rest of the world, going one way or the other in the market, we remained very, very stable. And I think that's good for us. We're very stable. Now we were impacted by, 2021 too as well. We've got a lack of inventory. However, there's still, a lot of business happening right now.
There is.
When I set my goals, when I came here and set my goals, and I knew, we needed a little ramp up period, and we got that, and we're back where we were. And that's what we wanted to do with, I set a goal and said, this is going to be my minimum every month. And we did it, the last few months. So that's really good. And we know, how that is here. So what we're doing is, being a new company, new branch here in West Virginia, we're trying to get our name out so that people recognize us. And as you know, most of the people know who you are. So we do reach back out. We do communicate with our folks. We stay in contact, and all the things that we've learned to do with the follow-ups, with communication, talking to our agents, letting them know what's going on in the transaction, things like that we're doing.
So does every teammate follow some form of a daily success plan? Yes.
Every teammate follows that. Everyone on the team. Katie's got her marching orders. Erin's doing her thing. I'm doing my thing. So we all know what we have to do and when we have to do it. And it works. It does work. And we see we already see that, the turn from that. When and going back, I'll go back to this, the yes, go into the yes. We had this one gal call us one day, and Erin and I looked at her and she didn't have the credit. She had a lot of work to do. We couldn't approve her. But what we said to her is, you know what? This is what you need to do. Here's your plan. We've laid it out for you. This is what your credit looks like. This is what you need to do. Here are the steps to take to get this boost, because we did a simulation and we did these things. Right. She was so appreciative and said, no, loan officers ever talked to her and told her what she needed to do. They've only slammed the door and said no. So she was so happy to see that we were able to kind of give her a plan. Now she knows what to do. And she's so appreciative, and she's always connecting and always sending referrals and all the things. So it does pay off what you do. And Erin told me recently, I don't remember who she was talking to, but she said that someone had shared with her that how beautiful it was that we as loan officers are able to be a part of one of the three biggest decisions in, people's lives. That is, get married, have a baby, and buy a home. And that is special,
I say that every week of my life. I say
we don't take that for granted.
And I think you just hit it on the head there, with a few things. One, accountability. Winners love accountability. Losers don't like accountability, and winners know that it's a mandatory component to success. And I love that you guys are also accountable, number one. Number two, it took a little while, but you're back to where you were. And that's a huge place to be, because what you've already accomplished in a short few years in this industry is more than what most accomplish in 10 or 20 years, which is awesome. But I love the care, and my friend Doug Catter has this CARE model, which stands for creating abundantly referable experiences. That's what he thinks CARE stands for. And that's exactly what you do with that lady. The easy thing would be, oh my God, her credit's terrible. See you later. Bye-bye. And hang up on her. Close the door in her face. That's not the right thing. It's the wrong thing to do. And just because she's had some things in her life that haven't gone maybe the way she thought or whatever, and put herself in a spot, or maybe someone else put her in a spot, who the hell knows? But it doesn't mean she should be robbed of the right for the American dream, right?
Nope.
And no, she's not eligible for that dream today. But if someone who cares and who's smart will work with her like you guys will, she'll probably get her act together, and she'll probably buy a house, and she's definitely going to get her money from you, right?
That's
and
right.
You said something that's kind of funny. She's already referred people to you, and you've only done one thing. You've never made $1 off her, but you were kind, you're empathetic, sympathetic, and you helped her. And you gave her a plan that if she follows the plan, she can put herself on what she wants most in X amount of months or however long it's going to take, right? That's
right.
what our business is about, folks. And we use the word deal and transaction way too often. It's about experiences. And I couldn't agree more with what you said, that Erin said. We get to help people with one of the three largest decisions most Americans make in their life. And yet sometimes we trivialize that down to deal and transaction. I can't stand either word, because I think if we all, every day, every loan originator in this country approached every single potential borrower as if my goal is to have you have an experience with us, and that you're going to be so happy with what you experience over the next 30 days that you're going to run back to church and home and work and school and all these places you go and tell everyone how great Rachel Lester was. That's where our industry gets fun. And I know you have that in your practice. And so these are great takeaways. We have this little time limit where I'm coming past it. But I just want to thank you for, I learn a lot from a lot of people, and I never thought one day in my life that I'd made it. I always thought I got a lot to learn. I got a lot to improve on, a lot to get better. And you've always taught me the power and the importance of perseverance. And I've known you a short time, but it's been a meaningful time. And I knew from the day I met you. Remember that dinner we had in Plymouth, Michigan? I knew without a shadow of a doubt, sitting at that table, that we were a good fit. I knew it. I knew it in the core of my being, and I knew it because our core values were perfectly aligned. And you referenced that earlier. Please don't minimize how important core value alignment is in partnerships, because it really does matter. And you went to another place that'll remain nameless, but you weren't of similar core values. They weren't waking up every morning trying to find the yes, right? And it was just wrong for you. And you quickly realized you can't make it there. And you were probably the smartest one there. That's not okay. It wasn't somewhere you could grow from. So as loan officers think about their lives and their business, just make sure you're with people that are on the same page, that are aligned properly, that have core values similar to yours. And that's when you can have cool things start to happen,
Right.
So thanks so much for joining us, Rachel. I appreciate you more than you know. For everyone tuning in, I hope you got as many takeaways. I just got 11 takeaways that may make my day this afternoon going to be better than it was this morning. And so use these things. Think about them. Think strategically. Find the yes. Mentoring matters. Battle. be confident and have a great attitude and a great position without being arrogant. You know, go overboard on customer service. Make it an experience. I got a lot from it. So thanks so much. Hope everyone has a great day. From everyone here at Loan Officer Impact, we're just hoping loan officers nationwide, regardless of where you work, have a more fruitful life, a more stress-less life, and enjoy this time in the business. It's not easy, but it is opportunistic if you know where and when to look.
Thank you for your leadership, Kevin. I appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend. Anytime. I don't know if I'm great at it, but I'll try every day. All right, we'll talk soon.
Okay.
Be sure to visit successunlimited.us for free loan officer tools, tips, and video resources. To schedule time with Kevin, visit growingwithkevin.com.